not say exactly how to identify an oif tahor. Ela mana minim tmeim. It was rather Moshe Rabbeinu picked up various different minim tmeim and said, this type you don't eat, this type you don't eat. Ush'ar mini ha'oif, and other types of birds mutarim are permitted. V'haminim ha'asurim, the minim that are asur are chaf daled ha'amurim b'Torah. 24 types of oifis, 24 types of birds that you're not allowed to eat. Now, let's go to halacha beis. Kol mishu baki ba'oisa minim. Anybody who knows exactly how to identify a bird, and to explain better why it's difficult to know, is because some of the words that Torah uses, even if they're used today in modern Hebrew, not necessarily are they talking about the same bird. But someone who's a big bucky, and he knows the birds and he can identify them with the name, you're allowed to eat, you're allowed to work by way of elimination, by process of elimination. If it's not one of the 24 that are coming, every other bird is tar. Only 24 are tummy. The Eilich you don't need to check it out whether it has some of the trademarks of a kosher bird. If it doesn't belong to the 24, it's kosher. For oif tar necho b'Mesorah. A oif tar you can eat based on a Mesorah. You don't have to look for simanim. By a cow, you look for simanim, right? The split hooves. Does it chew its cud? A oif tar, you don't look for simanim, you go by Mesorah. Do we have a Mesorah about this bird? It's kosher? It's kosher. Eat it, gesundheit. Now, as long as it's a common accepted practice, everybody knows this bird or this chicken is kosher. Someone who captures and traps these type of birds from the wild, he's allowed to say, this type of bird I brought to my Rav, and my Rav told me it's kosher. Fine. Now the Shulchan Aruch says further. The Shulchan Aruch, here's the two important seifim that I want to zoom into, is right over here. When are you allowed to trust somebody? This that you're allowed to trust somebody to say that this bird is kosher is only if that person is baki in all the 24 type of birds that are asur. However, someone who does not recognize birds and does not know them by name. So now the Shulchan Aruch is talking to all of us. Any bird experts in this room? If you yes, walk out. The Shulchan Aruch is now talking to all of us. If you're not a bird expert, you don't know, you can't list off to your finger, top of your head, the 24 type of birds that you're not allowed to eat, but you want to eat a bird. So Shulchan Aruch says, take the bird in your hand, and look for the following three things. But before you look for three simanim, before you inspect the bird, there's one prerequisite that goes before all simanim. The first prerequisite is, it has to be a type of bird which isn't a Dores. It isn't a chaya which stamples, tramples. We'll define a little bit what's the definition of an angry, predatory type of animal. So there's a machlekes in the Rishonim. Some Rishonim saying that any animal, you ever gone to one of those aquariums, whatever it is, and you see them feeding a sea lion. How does a sea lion eat? Grabs it mid-ear. That's Dores. That's one level of Dores. Other shittas of Dores are, have you ever seen them feed a live bird to a lion? Have you ever been in the zoo and see how they feed a live bird to a lion?
That's not a thing.
Depends which safari you went to.
It's not legal.
Over here not.
How have you said anything about America?
Over here not.
There's a video.
1 second. That's okay.
Make zoos great again.
That's okay. Let's talk about the zoos in Mexico. Okay? If you'll see how they feed a live bird to a lion, you'll see that the lion grabs the bird, it doesn't eat it until it's dead. Right? It holds it in its whatever you call it, its mouth, in its claws, whatever it is. It holds it until it kills the bird. That's called a chaya deiresis. That's another definition of dores. Okay? Other definitions of dores are certain animals, while they eat, they step on the animal while they eat. That's what it means, dores. It tramples it, it holds it down. But the point is, if we wanted to make a loose definition of what a chaya deiresis is, a chaya deiresis is a predatory type of animal, and the Torah does not allow us to eat any of the animals that have these bad character traits. The only animals we're allowed to eat are the all type of kosher birds and kosher meat are all from much more tamed, non-aggressive, predatory type of animals. But now, one second. If we went to this, all chickens meet the mark. All chickens, not one chicken, I shouldn't say not one. The Gemara does tell a story that there was a certain chicken that they found in a swamp, and they looked at it and they said, oh, look how it eats. It looks like any other chicken. But then when they observed, and they were matter to everybody to eat. And then when they observed it a little bit closer, they saw it is a Dores. It looks like a chicken, but it's a Dores. So they realized it was a terrible mistake. What they made, they would answered it, and unfortunately certain people were nichshel by this halacha. What this halacha told us is that you don't make an observation based on one day. Just because you raised the chicken in your own backyard and you saw that this chicken isn't Dores, don't jump to conclusions, because that mistake was already made and it's a terrible mistake. Right? So you got to give it time until you analyze it. But now let me zoom in. I want to talk specifically about some of the birds over here which would give us perspective. Let's just say, for argument's sake, all of these birds over here, there are millions of them throughout the entire world. They have been observed not for a day, not for a week, not for a month. You have hundreds of years of documentation. Never ever have they been observed to be a chaya deiresis. Can I go ahead and eat them? Can I go ahead and eat their eggs? What? The answer is not yet. Even if you know 100% sure that the animal is not a chaya deiresis, listen closely. Even if you know 100% sure that the animal is not a chaya deiresis, there's still another 3 simanim you need to verify. Says the Shulchan Aruch over here. Let's continue. Ve'im yadua she'einei dores. If you know for a fact that this bird is a tame type of bird, it would never meet the mark of a Dores, you still now have to look out for 3 simanim. There are 3 simanim Tara which tell you these are the trademarks of a kosher bird. Number 1, etzba yisera. What does etzba yisera mean? Can you pick up your bird? Pick up the feet. You see 3 feet in the front and you see 1 in the back? That's called an etzba yisera. That's called, let's pick it up again, let everybody see. Pick up, you know, they say, show them the chicken feet. Yeah? You see 3 in the front, you see 1 in the back. Trademark of a kosher bird. Some people, by the way, argue on this. I will just mention. Some people argue and they say a kosher bird has only 3 feet, but that the middle one goes out much longer. That's what it means, that's b'yisera. But the way most people understand that's b'yisera, the way most of our kosher chickens are, is they all have 3 in the front and an etzba yisera, an extra finger, an extra toe in the back. So right now we have 1 siman if you want to know if your bird is kosher and if it laid an egg while it was in your hand. So far we're doing good, yeah? It's not a Dores and it has an etzba yisera, but there's another 2 simanim. The next siman is it has to have a zefek. A zefek means it has a space for the food before it goes into the digestive tract. What? A crop. It has a crop. Now, all of these birds that you have over here and many more out there, they all have a zefek. So far you can check off. It's not a Dores, it does have that space Seder, and it has the crop. But that's not enough. There's the 3rd siman which will help us get closer to confirming it. The 3rd siman is V'kur kavanoi nikla biyad. I don't know what they call it in English. What do they call a kurkavan in English? In Yiddish they call it a puppet. What do they call it in English?
Gizzard.
Huh?
Gizzard.
Gizzard. So the gizzard of a kosher bird does not have a rough membrane. The membrane is very thin and you can peel it with your nail. You don't need a knife to split it open. Huh? The membrane of a kosher bird, you can peel open the membrane with a fingernail. You don't need a knife. So we're not going to go into details of each one of these, but these are roughly the 3 simanim. So now, I want you to be in this with me together. So far, all of the birds over here, so far they meet all the marks. They get 100. Kosher birds, you can shech them and you can eat their eggs. But we're not done yet. We're not done yet. Says the Shulchan Aruch weiter. Even if you see a bird that has all 3 of the simanim, don't jump to conclusions and go ahead and eat it. Or eat its eggs, because we're worried. In other words, it's possible for a bird to have all the 3 simanim, but still have the bad character traits as being a predatory type of bird. So you need to have, number one, 100% confidence, which is usually only based on tradition, that this bird is a calm, tame, docile type of bird. It doesn't have Dores, and on top of that it has 3 simanim. All the birds over here, they may not have a Yiddish and Mesorah going back for generations, because not every one of these species were available to Yidden at all times. But let's just say that we can, for argument's sake, I'm not saying conclusively, but let's just say that for argument's sake, all of these birds are certainly not a Dores. Not a Dores. 100% confirmed, few hundred years of observation, millions of such type of birds. They're not a Dores. Not just that. Let me add another siman, which the Shulchan Aruch doesn't bring. The Gemara in Chulin says as follows. If you don't know what type of bird it is, look who it hangs out with. Shachin v'doimen. See who it hangs out with and see who it looks like. If it looks like an oif tamei and it hangs out with oifes tameim, it's an oif tamei. If it looks like an oif kosher and it hangs out with kosher birds, it's a kosher bird. All of the chickens over here, do they look similar? More or less? If you looked at them over here, do they all look like chickens? They all look like chickens, l'chayra. Are they all living together? They're all living together. So maybe that should be, you don't see 2 of them, you don't see one species trying to get out of the cage from the rest of them. So maybe that should be the way that we confirm that all of these are kosher. Let's go a little bit further. I'm going to skip a little bit. But says the Rama adds on this. The Rama says, even if you did all your research and you're the greatest scientist, listen what the Rama says, and this is for Ashkenazim. Says the Rama, v'yesh oyemnim. Some people say, she'ein lismoich afilu al zeh. Even if you have a bird that it's physically impossible for it to be a Dores. For example, if you look at a duck has a wide leg, so it's not able to grip something in its leg. It has a wide beak, it's not able to poke something and grab it. Even if you had a duck, geese, whatever it is, it's not possible to be a Dores. Says the Rama, it doesn't matter. Even if it's got all 3 simanim and it's not possible to be a Dores, you cannot eat it unless there's a tradition about it. So let me ask a question. I'm not going to answer it right now. How did we come to eat the turkey? How did we come to eat the turkey? Was the turkey also by Moshe Rabbeinu? Is it one of the birds that Moshe Rabbeinu picked up? It didn't have a Mesorah? Or was it a new bird that showed up one day?
It's a mixture of the chutlos.
Maybe it was a new bird. One second. Even if it was a new bird, maybe I should say that since turkey is shachin v'doim the chickens, or al kapanim it has the etzba yisera, it's got all 3 simanim, maybe that's how it became kosher, even though it's not so doim the chickens. But it has its own 3 simanim. We'll talk about the turkeys another time. Today we're going to focus on this. Halacha l'maisa, could you go ahead and chef because Ellie's waiting, yeah?
What?
Ellie, you said you wanted to get down to business. Yeah? So if we wanted to know, Ellie wants to shaft it, and Maishi would never shaft it, but Maishi would eat the egg. Yeah? So if you want to know which egg you can eat and which egg you can't eat. So now let's get very practical and quick. The Rama says you cannot rely on anything unless there's a Mesorah. If you have tradition, good. If you don't have tradition, forget about it. We have a tradition about certain birds. For example, there's certain birds that were throughout all the years, those were the birds that were eaten. Then there comes new birds. Who has let me see if there's some birds they have. Okay, beautiful. Take this bird. Oh. Take this bird. It looks like a regular chicken. It looks like a regular chicken. But listen to the problem. I want you to see something. You see the feathers on its feet? I want you to look a little closer. How many etzba yiseiros does it have? It has 2 etzba yiseiros. So is 2 better than just having 1 extra? Or does 2 make it even worse? It cancels out. There's something in halacha which we won't go into now, but it's called kol yeser kenato dami. When you have an extra, it actually cancels out. So if I have 2 feet right over here, then I have 0. All I have is 3. So I'm missing one of the simanim right over here. Even if I don't say that. But guys, listen in. Even if I don't say it, one thing everybody will agree about is that the regular chicken has 4 legs, not 5 legs. So does this chicken need its own Mesorah? If you're going to answer yes, then the answer is we don't have a Mesorah, so we're out of luck. This chicken cannot be eaten. This chicken, you cannot eat its eggs because we don't have a unique Mesorah for this type of chicken. If it's shachin v'daimeh, if it's similar, so then it's part of the general umbrella Mesorah about chicken. But if it's unique, if this 1 extra leg makes it unique, we need a new Mesorah, which we don't have. You wouldn't be allowed to eat it. Let's go to another one. Which other ones do we have out there? Okay. This one is beautiful. It looks like a regular bird. Obviously, when it gets bigger, you'll see it. Mamish looks like a regular bird. It has the regular type of feet that every other bird has. This one is no question. The Mesorah that we have, a chicken, it's shachin, v'daimeh, the fact that it grows up to be a different color than white, it's part of the regular chicken Mesorah. It's kosher. We have anybody else, or everybody else put their birds back? Okay.
One more.
This one again, you see, the same exact thing. It has a different color feather, but no one says different color feathers make an issue. Its feet are the same. Doesn't have feathers on the feet. It has 1 etzba yisera, no issues. But now, I want you to take a look at one of the most talked about birds. One of the most talked about birds that I found in some of the poskim. Now, to really appreciate this bird, you can't appreciate it so much when it's small. Okay? This one.
What's it called?
This bird is called, in Hebrew, if you wanted to see some of the poskim, modern day poskim, I talk about it, it's called Tarnago Meshi. And in English, it's called a silky. This bird baffled many people. Why? Because it's an exotic bird, but it's like a chicken. It is a chicken. It lives with chickens, but it's something so different on every level. Number 1, take a look. It's black feet, black beak. It's an entirely black body. Regular chicken you identify on the table. If I served you meat, you would expect it to be brown. And if I served you chicken, you would expect it to be white. Well, if we turn this into ground chicken, it would look like a hamburger. It'd be even darker. It's black. That's number 1. It's totally black. You're only seeing the beak sticking out of the feet, but it's totally black. But now it doesn't end there. Listen closely. Look at its feet. It's got the feathers. It's got the feathers. Okay? Look underneath. It has an extra leg. Has an extra leg. When this chicken grows up bigger, you'll see even more, if we keep it, you'll see even more how different it looks from a regular one. But now what's interesting about this is the calmest chicken almost that exists. It's the most pet-like. It's not even shaykh to be a Dores. It wouldn't even be Dores to another chicken. In the farm, some of the people use this chicken as natural incubators. You know, in the commercial process, we have incubators. Take an egg, put it in an incubator and hatches. Why don't you use regular chickens? Because a lot of chickens, they'll only incubate their own eggs. This chicken, Balas Midas Toiv, is tremendous. Put any egg underneath it, it will take care of it like its own. Put a duck underneath it, it will take care of it like its own. So, the question arises, is this chicken kosher or not? It's not a Dores, it's actually the nicest chicken that exists. It has all three simanim. Let's again review. It has at least one Etzbi Seder. The problem is it has two Etzbi Seders. But it has one Etzbi Seder. It has a crop. And it has the gizzard. Yeah, that's what it's called? Yeah. The gizzard is niklaf with your nail. Is it kosher or not kosher? Not just that. If you looked at its eggs also look like a kosher chicken. So to make this very short, I'll answer the question. According to the Svardim hold, if you know 100% it's not a Dores, and it has the three simanim, on top of that it's shachin v'doimeh, what more do you need? This is a chicken, this is kosher. So there are many Svardim Yidin that would eat this, even though usually people they keep it as pets, and they just eat its eggs. But many Svardim would eat the egg of this chicken. However, the Rama says, even if you know it's not a Dores, and even if it has all the simanim, do you have a Mesorah? The silky chicken comes from China. There were no Chinese Jews. Moshe Rabbeinu, when he gave the Yidden Matan Torah, he was not standing in China, pointing as Zeh Toichlu, as Zeh Loi Toichlu. He probably, at least what we know, did not have the silky in front of him. So, since this chicken is so different, it requires its own Mesorah b'pashtus. By requiring its own Mesorah, unless you would say shachin v'doim, it doesn't need a Mesorah. By requiring its own Mesorah, if you paskin like the Rama, which all the Ashkenazim paskin like, you would not be able to eat its eggs. Now, if you're a Lubavitcher, you go into another problem. The Rebbe spoke on only keeping kosher animals in the house. So not just you're not going to eat its meat, and not just you're not going to eat its eggs, but if in fact, la halacha, this chicken needs its own Mesorah, and until it has a Mesorah, we're going to consider it part of the family of the 24 oifes hatameim, then you wouldn't raise such a chicken as a pet either, unless you'll say that the Rebbe is talking about certain types. That's another conversation. Anyways, this is the basics. There's more to this. There's more to the research, but what I wanted to give you is a pre-Matan Torah share, an experience of Matan Torah, one of the lessons that Moshe Rabbeinu gave the Yidden about birds. And the second thing is just to realize, you go to a farm and you buy you buy eggs from a farm, you have to specify which chicken is it coming from. There's so many different types of breeds of chicken. Does the chicken look like all the other chickens? If it has anything different, in other words, in this selection over here, there's 6 chickens. 3 of them have questions about it. I didn't finish all the research, but 3 of them have questions about it. If I would have been given this shear when I was younger, I'd have never taken these 3 in my house. Before I throw them out, I have to make sure it's taka aser. So we're holding in middle. A good Shabbos.